گی فرهوفشتاد. مبارزه مردم ایران و مبارزه شما خانم رجوی بخشی از یک نبرد بزرگتر است که فقط به ایران و مردم ایران محدود نمی شود. این نبرد بزرگتر در سطح جهانی میان دموکراسی و خودکامگی است. ایران آزاد تنها پرونده‌ای است که همه گروه‌های سیاسی در پارلمان اروپا در مورد آن اتفاق نظر دارند و هر بار با تصمیمی متفق القول همراه بوده است. اتحادیه اروپا باید با یک اقدام به استراتژی مماشات با رژیم پایان دهد و آن باز کردن کانال ارتباط با اپوزیسیون دموکراتیک است. اتحادیه اروپا باید اپوزیسیون دموکراتیک و به ویژه خانم رجوی را به عنوان نماینده واقعی مردم ایران به رسمیت بشناسد.
Thank you, Petras. I will not try to speak Persian. You do it far better than I do. But I want to welcome, first of all, Mrs. Rajavi. Thank you. Thank you for your presence here. Thank you for your leadership so many years and here in Belgium. And you know, I told it you already a few times. I have a dream. That is that the next International Human Rights Day we could be invited by you in Tehran. That would be maybe a good way forward. So, as you already did in your introduction, the situation in Iran is worsening. Certainly for so many people that are killed by the Mullah regime. Only in the month of November there were more than 330 prisoners that have been executed under different pretexts, many of them for political reasons because they make part of the political resistance. And since the beginning, the first week of December, again 60 people have been executed by this regime. The last 16 months, and I take the last 16 months, why? Because it's the start of the so-called reformist and moderate president. His period as president-elect, well, in that period of 60 months, more than 2,600 people have been killed. And today, as Mrs. Rajavi already said, there are 18 political prisoners on death row, all charged with one thing, that is supporting the resistance. And what is so important to tell today on this International Human Rights Day is that all these people, these 18 people that are in prison and waiting for the execution, have one way or another reiterated their support for a democratic republic, even under the threat of an execution. And that shows the resilience of the Iranian people for democracy and a democratic republic today in Iran. And you have to know, ladies and gentlemen, and Mrs. Rajavi, that the fight of the Iranian people and your fight makes part of a bigger battle. It's not only Iran and the Iranian people. There is a bigger battle fight going on between democracy and autocracy on the world level. A fight between two visions on the world view. Autocratic regimes like Iran sees the world as a world of power. If you have power, it's enough. Power defines everything. While we as Democrats and you as a democratic opposition in Iran, we believe that human rights, the rule of law, are the basis of a democratic society and not only power or the exertion of power. And my wish today, because we are in the European Parliament, so I have the possibility for once again to speak to my former colleagues, in the European Parliament, not only outside the Parliament, but inside the Parliament, is to ask them to increase the pressure on the leadership in Europe to change their strategy towards Iran. But let's be honest, I was responsible for a resolution in the past, in the previous Parliament, where we agreed on a tough stance towards Iran. There is a new resolution that has been adopted, Petros, in the Parliament, reiterating mainly what previously have been said, but what we in fact see is a continuation of the appeasement strategy of the Western Europe and the European leaders and the American leaders. That is the reality of today. So my wish today, and my is not so much to Mrs. Rajavi, but towards the politicians here in the room and the members of parliament in the room, to ask, to request the European leadership, and that means European Commission, European Council, the heads of states of government of our member of it, and certainly also the European External Action Service, to change their strategy the fastest as possible, because the strategy of appeasement has solved nothing the last 10 years in this. Nothing. It didn't. It certainly, colleagues, didn't stop the killings. 2,600 the last 16 months. It didn't produce a nuclear-free Iran, because it's the opposite what is true. They all simply cannot be trusted in this, the Mullah regime. So if we make the assessment, the appeasement policy didn't realize nothing at all. So it's the moment now, certainly on International Human Rights Day, to increase pressure on our own leaders here in Europe to change course. And my proposal will be, because I can tell you, I know a little bit of this parliament. I was 15 years a member of it. I have never seen one file where all the political groups were in agreement. Well, I can tell you, the Free Iran is the only file where all political groups are in agreement. The only one. Really. Every time it was nearly by a unanimous decision. So my request is, create not a sort of a coalition, go to our leaders in Commission, High Representative and the Council to ask a change in strategy, and that means very, very important things. That is to recognize, first of all, the EGRC as a terrorist organization. What we need more than 2,600 deaths since 16 months to approve it. That means increasing sanctions. If there are more executions, well, we increase sanctions. That has to be the mechanism. The more there are, the more sanctions we need to take against all those who are involved in these crimes in Iran. And that goes further. That's police forces, that's the army, that's the political leadership. There is certainly enormous room for improvement. And then we need, like I said, to stop our appeasement strategy by one thing, that is to open the channel to the democratic opposition. I want that the European Union recognize the democratic opposition, especially Mrs. Rajavi, as the real representative of the Iranian people, and not longer the Mullah regime, as is the case now. And if we all do that, we can change the strategy of the Union. The Americans have to change their strategy towards Iran. And then I am pretty sure that next year, or maybe 2 years, let's give a year more, we will have this International Day in Tehran, Mrs. Rajavi. Thank you very much.